my shower is completed. That's not okay.
Oh, I just saw the gnat again.
That's not okay, in my opinion. Oh! I've ordered takeout. Yes, I have. I'm using a literal butter knife right now.
Tried my first bite of food. It dribbled on me a little bit.
One day I will be a plus size influencer who has died. That is crazy.
This video is so raw, you guys. Fuck.
Damn, what real bitches say?
Hey YouTube, it's me Hens. I'm back here with Amber and she has a major health update for us. A major health negative update, it would seem. On a side note, did you know that you can eat all of a kiwi except for like the end part where the stem goes? You can literally eat the skin. I did not know that. Let's get into her video.
Hey guys, welcome to a new vlog. So today I have an appointment to get a CT scan. So I want to explain
How? You're too big.
kind of what's been happening, but I feel like I need to do just a real quick backstory of when I was diagnosed with uterine cancer. So I get asked
Tell us about it. Because I technically wasn't watching until after. But tell us.
a lot, like, what was my biggest symptom of that? It was the fact that I bled for over 2 years. I never went to a gyno.
Never ever went to a gynecologist. She never went to the doctor in her whole life. To the gynecologist. She never did. Let that sink into you. She was 23 or 24. I believe. Maybe even older. Maybe like 25, 26. What?
Because I did go to the ER a couple times. I did see an actual doctor a couple times. And every single time I'd go, they would say, yeah, this
No, she said at the time, I do know this, that she had never been to a gynecologist before she had her uterine cancer.
isn't normal, but people your size have really weird and irregular periods. And I was diagnosed with a UTI multiple times. So all of that fed into my delusion, and it made it to where
She's skipping the part where she never went to the gynecologist.
like the fear of going to a gynecologist was a lot stronger than me actually going. Long story short, I did have uterine cancer. I ended up getting a full hysterectomy, so I no longer have a menstrual cycle, so I don't bleed from down yonder. So if I ever notice blood from down yonder,
Wow. She has to like distance herself from the actual anatomy. Like down yonder is a euphemism because she can't handle like the reality of the situation.
something is wrong. So it was a little over 2 weeks ago, I went pee and I noticed there was blood in my pee. This is
UTI?
very hard for me to talk about. I have cried a lot about this whole thing because I am scared. When I first saw it, I had so many memories flashback. Like it was straight up as if I was back in that uterine
I mean, but technically you should know that that's impossible unless you just never went back to check.
cancer journey. Like it hit me like this and I broke down. So after I calmed down a little bit, I realized, okay, you know what? This could be just a UTI. I ended up talking to my closest friends who have had UTIs and I was like, what were you guys' symptoms? Like I was scared, obviously. And of course I went onto the Google and everywhere and everyone was like, yeah, you know, a little bit of blood in your urine, totally normal for a UTI. But like I was having no other symptoms. Like I had no pain, nothing. So I immediately knew, okay, I need to go to a doctor. Let's get this tested. Let's get put on some antibiotics, get this figured out. So I called around to a couple doctors and one of them was like, we don't have an appointment open until next year.
Yeah, that's how it is since COVID. Everything's backed up. Dentists and doctors and eye doctors.
I was like, did I hear you wrong? Oh, didn't hear that wrong. Literally next year. With new patients, it's very different, which I don't understand like the concept. Like there's only certain spots open for like new patients versus like doctors who have seen the same patient over and over.
You would understand if you had a primary care physician most of the time instead of the opposite where you don't have one most of the time.
I don't understand it. I'm not meant to. Long story short, every doctor that I called, they were like, yeah, you can be seen in like a couple months from now. Like there was none that was like urgent, and this felt urgent to me. I am a woman that has blood in her pee after having uterine cancer and a full hysterectomy 4 years ago. Like that felt urgent to me. So since I wasn't able to make a doctor's appointment, I did go to immediate care. They took my urine sample and I had no bacteria in it. I have no UTI. It shows no signs of anything. So I explained to them, I did move to Oklahoma in October. I have not gotten a doctor yet. I did not make that a priority for myself, and I should have. I understand that.
Bitch, you've been in Oklahoma for 7 months. You've been there for 7 months and you don't have a doctor. And you're obese. Morbidly obese. Obese.
So immediate care gave me a card for a doctor that probably would be willing to see me soon. So I was like, okay. So I ended up going home, calling, make an appointment, and I did see that doctor. I took another urine test, and again, it came back with no bacteria, nothing wrong, like no UTI. And that's when the topic of cancer came up. And the only way for them to see if it is cancer is if I get a CT scan, which is what I'm going to do today. Obviously, there's also a chance that it's literally just kidney stones. I have had kidney stones in the past, but normally when I've had kidney stones, I did have pain. So the CT scan is actually going to be looking at my pelvis and my abdomen. So the doctor did tell me, I am going to put you on some antibiotics because you could have an infection that our urine test just is not picking up. So that is the reason why I'm on antibiotics. I'm terrified, to say the least. I have broke down a lot because of this, and I actively...
Has she told them that she previously had antibiotic resistance? Because that doesn't just go away necessarily. Like, your gut biome and your actual skin biome also determines that, Amber, because you've developed it before. You should be aware of that.
Disassociating. Right now, I just feel numb. I feel completely numb, and I know that if I wasn't in this like numb space, then I would be bawling my eyes out right now. But I think I feel safer in this weird disassociative area, because when I'm like breaking down about something that I'm extremely worried about and something that I don't know the answers to and that I currently can't control, I feel unaware of my surroundings really. And I think right now I just need to be strong. I need to go through the motions of what I need to do to figure out what this issue is so I can get it resolved, so I can figure out a solution. I still remember sitting there in immediate care and them coming back and telling me it was not a UTI, because I really believed that it was. And when they told me that it wasn't, again, it was just like flashback after flashback after flashback of
maybe you pushed too hard.
Everything I went through before I was finally diagnosed with uterine cancer. I just kept going back and forth, like, do I want to tell you guys about this? Like, I'm embarrassed and I'm ashamed, but it's also like, there are things that your body does that you are not in control over. And I know a lot of people are like, this happened to you because your weight, this is your weight's fault, this is your weight's fault. Not everything is because of my size and because of my weight. So it's hard to come on here.
I mean, it's because you've already had cancer and you know that being morbidly obese is actually a predisposition to some cancers. Amber.
And feel like a normal human, because I get so much like, this is your fault, this is your fault. Sometimes it's just literally not my fault. I have fully taken the responsibility of me getting uterine cancer to begin with. Like, that is completely my fault. I have had health professionals tell me, no, it isn't your fault. But it's like, when you look at it and you figure out, you know, why did I get this? It is my fault. And I would have never gotten it if it wasn't for my size. And that's something that I hold on to all the time. The guilt.
And to think that the fallout could not possibly be impacted by your weight is a little bit arrogant on your end. The fact that you think that you sacrificed, I think it's in her head, she thinks she sacrificed enough by having the hysterectomy that she doesn't need to feel like the rest of it is like on her. I think that's what it is.
Guilt that I feel about that is powerful. But I can't blame everything on my size, because not everything is my size's fault.
See? Just the way she says it makes me think that that's what she thinks.
Looking at bigger people and dismissing them constantly for whatever reason, it's because of their weight. It isn't fair, and it is in a way dehumanize.
It isn't fair. It isn't fair, you guys.
Unaware of the fact that, like,
a lot of stuff's not fair,
does
Amber.
cause a lot of health problems. So it truly does. That is why I've never been health at every size. I don't believe that you can be this size and be healthy.
Well, duh.
But I do believe that bigger people, such as myself, we do experience illnesses or sicknesses that isn't directly caused by our weight. So hopefully that makes sense.
Where does it come from, since you don't go anywhere? Where does it come from?
And that was like a big reason why, like, I didn't want to come on here and talk about this, because so many people dismiss me and the things that I go through just automatically, like whether it's health stuff, mental health stuff, just like day-to-day life stuff, I'm just like constantly dismissed and judged because of my size. Like, it goes on to like simple things like Amberlynn doesn't shower because of her size, or Amberlynn doesn't walk her dog because of her size, or Amberlynn doesn't clean her house because of her size. Like, I have never given any indication. Yes, 4 years ago, for sure. 2019. Wait, that's literally 5 years now. 2019, 5 years ago, yes. Like, those things were close to virtually impossible for me at the time. Then, like, I have shown my growth. I have shown myself walking Twinkie. We have walked a mile together multiple times. I recorded a couple
No, you didn't record the whole thing. I want to watch you walk the whole thing from third person perspective, and then I'll believe you.
times. I talk about my showering, I talk about my cleaning, I talk about all these things. I've shown myself doing these things, and just because of my size, people assume that I can't do these things, and that's just really unfair. I didn't want this video to be about my weight or my size, but I think that's something that's just like really truly heavy on my mind and in my heart right now, because no matter what I talk about, it could literally be anything. No matter what I talk about on this channel, somehow the reaction I receive is always weight-based. It's always about my size. I do talk about my weight a lot on this channel.
My problem with you is your personality. You are so terrible as a human, and I wish that you would have no influence over anybody. That's my piece.
About to start a new Ozempic journey. That's something that I'm always going to talk about, but that doesn't mean that every single thing that I do in my life is directly a cause of my size. I want to be a person with so many things about them, and one of them just being that I'm super morbidly obese. But instead, I feel like the internet makes me just a super morbidly obese person with nothing else about her. I'm only
You always sit at home. You don't do anything. You don't have any real hobbies. You don't know anybody. You don't do anything. You don't do collaborations. You're boring.
ever seen for my size. I don't think anybody should ever be just seen because of how they look. I will forever be more than someone who is 500 pounds. Things happen to me not because of my size, but because
Oh, she just admitted she's 500 pounds, guys. She hasn't weighed in since the last time she weighed in, and she was about 500 pounds, but she had just crept back up out of the 490s, and now she's solidly 500s, according to her.
I'm simply human, and we all are. And we need to learn how to respect each other and stop invalidating and dismissing what people are going through. My God, I feel like I could ramble on forever. I don't know where this video completely took a turn. I don't know where it went. Long story short,
It didn't really go anywhere. I mean, you are still clickbaiting your health. No real updates. You're going in for blood work, but you have not yet gotten it done. So, yeah, there's nothing really interesting going on with you yet.
I'm about to go to a CT scan. I'm about to start a vlog for you guys. I knew this was going to be long-winded, so I wanted it to be its own like separate thing. And I just want to end this video with, I get it, I'm fat. I know. And it has caused me a lot of issues in my life. But instead of assuming that whatever I'm going through is because of my size, let's like figure out what the issue is first, and then we can figure that out. I'm sorry for like that little mini rant. I guess it really was just bothering me. I know my words probably aren't gonna matter so much. They usually don't, but I think it just feels better that it's off of my chest. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Well, that was a big nothing burger. Like, she doesn't know what it is. It could be anything. And I really don't, I don't know. Whatever. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Bye.